page 4. This is the page where you can truly go through and get to know your client's background and their history. You got to ask them about all the things that happened in the past and what ethnicity they are and how they want to be claimed as far as nationality goes. This is your get to know me on a deep personal level page. So let's get started.
All right guys, welcome back. We're on page 4 of the 1003. Page 4 is pretty straightforward. It's very self-explanatory. It's more Q&A over the same thing. You're asking your borrower to finish their declarations. Are you presently delinquent or in default of any federal debt or obligation? Are you obligated to alimony or child support? Is any part of the down payment borrowed? Why is that important? Well, if you're buying an investment property, you can't use borrowed funds for most loans. So be aware of that. Are you the co-maker or endorser on a note? Why is that important? Well, if I'm the co-maker or endorsement on a note, even a private note, that may preclude me from qualifying. Are you a U.S. citizen? If the answer is no, then you may have to qualify for a national or a different kind of loan. Are you a permanent resident alien? Do you intend to occupy the property as your primary residence? It's got to match up with your application. Do you have any ownership or have you had any ownership interest in a property in the past 3 years? Why is that important? Well, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're buying your home for the first time, but you helped your mom, cousin, sister, uncle co-sign, then maybe you disqualify for a first-time home buyer loan. So be on your toes with these questions. These aren't simple. And if you don't get it right, you're making excuses later. What type of property do you own? Principal residence, if you own something. Second home or investment property. And finally, how do you hold title on the home that you own? Sole, jointly, or shared with somebody else. You'll come through, the client will sign this when you get it in your system, not needed up front. Then you have to go through your general questions about the borrower's ethnicity, race, and sex, and how you took the application. So that's the 4th page. It's pretty straightforward, not a lot of thinking of the application. So let's go to the top, you guys, and I want to summarize how I would basically go through taking my application to a borrower so you can see in real time, in short time, how it works, okay? Page 1 of the application again. And keep in mind, this is your way to manage the client's information. It's your way to own their content. So in sum, I talked to John Smith, I get his name, I ask for his legal name. I ask him, hey John Smith, so if it's a purchase property, what type of property are you looking for? What's the purchase price? $275, okay, cool. How much down? $25,000, okay. So we're gonna borrow about $250. I know in my mind, or I'll price out later what the rate is. I'm not gonna tell the borrower on the application, if I'm pricing them out, what the rate is. I'm filling the rate in later as I go. All right, John, what do you want? You want a 30-year loan? You want a 15? What are you thinking? 30-year, awesome. Fixed rate, cool. Well, John, tell me the property that you're putting an offer on. What's the address? Maybe if you don't know it, I put TBD. If you do know it, because it's across the street from where you live, maybe it's 100 Main Place in Newport Beach. Awesome. What year was it built? Don't know. All right, I'll look it up later. If you do know, awesome. 1960. It's a 1-unit property. Great. It's a purchase loan. This line is only if it's a construction loan. This is for a refinance. I'm going to skip that. All right, John, so you're going to buy this property. Are you buying it by yourself? Any co-borrowers? Nope. And are you married, unmarried? Okay, unmarried man, sole and separate property. Awesome. And how are you buying this property? Is it gift funds? Is it funds borrowing from your investments? Is it borrowing from your 401k? Is it borrowing from your relative? Is it a gift? Oh no, cash on hand. Super. All right, John, how's your legal name spelled? John Smith legally? Sweet. Present address, John? You live at 101 Main Street. It's across the way. And this is where you can use this application to build rapport. Tell me how you found the home. Tell me why you're buying. Tell me how you got into this property to begin with on Main Street. Tell me why this street. Why do you love that property? Why are you staying there? Have him or her open up to you as to what their needs are and why they're buying. You want to find out the whys. To be a great application taker, the client must feel like you're talking to them, having a conversation. They can't feel and they can't hear you clicking on a keyboard. If that's the case, you're just a receptionist. You want to have this thing flow like you're just talking the talk and say, tell me your name. Tell me why you're buying. Tell me the property address you're buying. Tell me where you live. How long you been there? Awesome. Well, cool. Tell me about what do you do for a living? Don't say, where do you work? Give me the name and address of your employer. Say, tell me what you do for a living. Where is the location of your employer? Where do you work? If they don't know exactly the street address, that's okay. Get the street and the zip code, and you can look it up later. You can fill it in. It's all in Google. All right, and what do you do there? Manager? Tell me, who do you manage? What's it like to be a manager at Amazon? Do you want to be there forever? Is it what you think it is? Is it how I see it is when I'm looking at the app online? Do you grind out on the weekend? Do you go into the office? Do you work from home? Tell me about that. Build rapport-based questions and say, hey man, so through the process, I'm gonna probably have to verify your employment. What's the best number to call your employer at? All right, 800-888-8888, great. How long you been on this job for? 1 year, 6 months, cool. So I've got to go back a little ways. So tell me, John, before working at Amazon, where were you at before? You're at Macy's? All right, do you remember where they're located at? They're located on 555 Macy's Way in Irvine. Awesome. How long were you there? About a year and a half or 2 years or 9 years? Awesome. Well, do you kind of remember the start date and the end date? Don't say dates from where to where. Let it flow. Do you remember how long you were there? The start date, the end date. How much did you make before at Macy's? Cool. And do you know the job title you had? Oh, you were a manager there too? Awesome. Oh no, you weren't. You were maybe you were in IT. Okay, well here's what I need you to do. Take a note here, or I'm taking a note for you. I've got to explain why you went from IT to management. Because they're gonna ask me why you changed. Because if I don't explain that, I'm gonna put your loan and maybe it doesn't qualify because there's a big change. Oh, you were an IT manager. Makes sense. Now you're in the same line. You're in management IT. Maybe now you're in software management, but it's the same thing. Cool. So I want to fill out my information so it's consistent and so it flows. Got it? So here's the thing. I know that you might not know this, John, but I've got to break down how you get paid. Is it salary, commission, bonus? Oh, it's salary. Awesome. Just like before. Sweet. It's going to be consistent. So you're telling me you're renting. Tell me why you rented. Use this as a chance to get to know John Smith. Well, you rented because you didn't have the money saved, but now you've been working in the same job and you feel like being at Amazon is a long-term fit. That's a great news because now having this home that you own will be an asset for you for 30 years. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to manage it for 30 years for you. So tell me real quick about the rent you paid. How much was it? Cool. All right. Did you like your landlord? Make small talk with John Smith. All right, John. So last couple things, then we're about to get you into your pre-approval here. When you're buying this property, where's your money at? Where do you hold it? Is it in checking, savings, CDs? All right, checking with who? Chase? All right. And how long have those funds been there? Oh, for like only a month because you sold a car? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna need to have you give me a copy of that paid invoice showing you sold the car, a copy of the canceled check and everything like that because I really have to go back and document where the money came from. Oh, it's all cash in your account? Okay, I can't really use that cash in the account. What else do you got? This is a critical time where you really want to find out where the money came from because you have to be able to source and season 2 months only. So if the guy bought and sold his car for cash, and that was last December of last year, and it's been sitting there for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, then you're going to be okay. But a smart loan officer or broker knows that, and it can get around that because they only have to verify 2 months of seasoning. And you also have a 401k with Wells Fargo. Awesome. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to verify John's liabilities, and after, and usually if he's a pretty simple borrower that doesn't own a bunch of homes, I'm not going to go over every liability up front. I'm going to go after we talk and then pull the credit report and then tell him, look, I'm going to go through and get all dialed in. I may call you back if I have questions about some of your debts. Is that okay? All right, cool. I'm going to keep going because I want this call to be short and sweet because he's busy. Then I'm going to go through just asking him, hey, by the way, do you own any other properties? Okay, you own a 111 rental way in Rental Town? Awesome. Then I'm going to make the pitch about if I can help him with more debt or get the payments down. That's when I'll make that pitch and try and get 2 loans for the price of 1. Then I'll go through his declarations and ask him all about his background. Then I'm just going to ask him, hey, this is part of the application. I got to verify ethnicity. Do you feel comfortable with me asking you these questions? You don't have to. You can wish not to furnish, or if you're cool with me reporting this, then cool, I'll ask you those questions. And that's how I'll finish the application after I've got a chance to build rapport. But hey, John, before I go, there's a couple things I didn't ask you yet. Give me your birthday, please. And that's when I'll ask him for his date of birth. And I'll say, all right, John, give me your social. After I've had the chance to build his rapport, Then I'll go back and ask him for his birthday and his social. I'm not going to go too early too soon and say, hey, give me your name, give me your birthday, give me your social. Maybe we're not there yet. But by going through the application and truly taking time to see where the bodies are buried, where things could be critically issues down the road, employment, income, history, I'll explain those things up front to my underwriter. Because remember, filling out an application is taking data, but a smart loan officer can make explanations for things that aren't normal. A loan officer not seasoned is making excuses. So be great at taking applications, all 4 pages, and you'll get a better chance of getting your loans through underwriting. Selling's hard enough. Don't make it magnified and harder by taking incomplete or not thorough applications. And believe you me, your team will love you processing, underwriting, support, and operations. By you dialing in your applications, you'll close more loans. That's all I got for this lesson. Let's keep rolling.
So guys, that's it. That is the 1003. That is 4 pages. That is how you crush it in getting to know your clients. By being a great 1003 taker, a couple things are going to happen. Your borrowers will love you. Your processors and your underwriters will be able to process loans faster, and you will know everything about a customer, not for this loan, but the bigger picture for the next loan.